Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and today I'm bringing you guys another gun review. This time, Nexon has finally broken their trend of releasing GP pistols every month with each game update, and now they've decided to release a GP submachine gun, which makes me personally very happy because the GP arsenal for these submachine guns is not that varied compared to other gun categories. But whatever, Nexon has finally introduced another unique submachine gun to the GP arsenal, and it's called the TEC-9 or the TEC-9. Apparently, it's a submachine gun designed in Sweden, and it's apparently used by gangs and whatnot because it's really cheap, and certainly looks like it's El Cheapo submachine gun. But anyways, that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on the TEC-9 that's featured in the game called Combat Arms. So here we go. As always, we'll be starting off with the statistics here. The damage on the TEC-9 is at a 33, so keep in mind this is identical to the MP5's damage rating. The portability is at an 88, which is a lot higher than most GP standard pistols, or not pistols, submachine guns out there. Rate of fire is at a whopping 90, which is the highest rate of fire ever in Combat Arms. So it's obviously got a really high rate of fire there. Accuracy is at a pretty high 65. You don't see accuracy this high for GP submachine guns anyway. It's pretty unique, so that's that. Recoil is unfortunately at a pretty high 65 as well, so this submachine gun does have a lot of freaking recoil. We'll talk about that later in a second here, but it does come with 32 rounds in magazine and 96 in reserve, so this kind of mimics the MP40 submachine guns ammo capacity. And you cannot modify this gun at all, unfortunately. You cannot attach a silencer, you can't attach a magazine modification, nor can you put a sight on this. And I agree with the sight part, because the TEC-9 has so much recoil, it's kind of pointless to put a scope on this thing anyway. But it's kind of a bummer that you can't put a extended magazine or, God forbid, a fast loader magazine on this thing if you really wanted to. And you can't put a silencer on it because, by the looks of it, it seems like it has a muzzle brake, so it's going to be pretty hard to put a silencer on this thing. So there you go. Now that we've talked about the statistics and the modification availabilities on this thing. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, it does cost 5,880 GP for 1 week, and it is unlocked at the rank of Command Sergeant Major 5. So it's got a pretty in the middle-ish kind of rank requirement there. It's not too high, but it's not too low either. So yeah, my thoughts on the TEC-9. The TEC-9 really, it behaves somewhere like a mix between the TMP and the Chris. And why I say this is because the TMP has a very widespread bloom. And if you guys don't know what the technical meaning of bloom is, basically what I mean by bloom is the rate at which your hipfire spread increases as you fire your gun. Obviously if you hold down a gun at full auto, your hipfire spread will, get bigger and bigger and bigger until it can't get any bigger anymore. That's what she said. But that's what bloom means. And for me, the bloom on the TEC-9 really mimics the bloom on the TMP, which is the clan submachine gun that you can only get if you're part of a clan, like at least level 3 or 4, something like that. So that's what it reminds me of. And why I say it also reminds me of Chris is that the rate at which the Chris submachine guns bloom kind of jumps is I wouldn't say identical, but it's pretty similar to how the bloom on the TEC-9 behaves as well. So it's got the bloom size of the TMP, but the bloom rate of the Chris. I think that's where I'm trying to get at here. And the rate at which the recoil of the TEC-9 is the biggest flaw with the gun because it combines the two negative aspects of the recoil on the TMP and the Chris, and it combines them together to make this kind of like a very circlish. It goes in almost, I would want to say, a clockwise recoil pattern, where it goes basically in a full circle. If you were to hold down the gun and then strafe around with it, it feels like it goes in a full circle in a sense. I don't know, that's just what I got out of it. And when you combine those two, you'll find that the bullet accuracy on the TEC-9 is really, really bad. I mean, in part, obviously, due to the fact that it has a really big bloom, but it's just not. It just doesn't hit things accuracy. The TMP you have, it's pretty accurate, so you can hit targets at maximum bloom from reasonable distance away, pretty reasonably. With the TEC-9, it's not really, it's you're not going to be able to hit targets at medium range if you were to go full auto. The TEC-9 is basically designed to be a very up-in-your-face submachine gun. It almost reminds me also of the dual Scorpions in this way, because obviously a dual Scorpions, it absolutely melts people up close, but at medium distance, try shooting at people then, I mean, you can only rely on headshots to kill anybody at that range, right? Because, recoil is way off the charts. Kind of the same thing goes for the TEC-9, actually, because, given its bloom, and given its recoil kickback, it's really difficult to control this gun's rate of fire, even while you're bursting it. Like, even bursting is a challenge with this gun. So, really, this gun has a very niche role in that it's really only good as a backup weapon. If you know you're gonna get yourself stuck into a up-in-your-face, close quarters gunfight, then the TEC-9 is there for you. TEC-9 is basically your, a pretty good go-to gun for those kinds of situations. But anything else, the TEC-9 really can't stand up to it. It's really designed, just like its real life background suggests, is really designed to be a very close quarters kind of gun. You can't do really much in the ways of middle range, or obviously not long range, because some machines aren't designed for that in this game, at least. So the one good thing that the TEC-9 does have going for it is the few good things that it does have going for it its way is that, first of all, it's a lotto machine. It's one of those guns where if you were to spray enough at someone's upper chest, you're probably gonna get a headshot, and it kind of compensates for the fact that it's really weak at medium range because of its really bad recoil. Just aim somewhere near the face and hopefully you get a headshot, and in my experience, like half the time you probably will, and you'll see me in these gameplays getting quite a few headshots, even if I don't aim for them or not. And that's one of the strengths that the TEC-9 does have. It's a complete lead hose, and kind of is meant to be used like that. The other good thing that the TEC-9 does have going its way is the fact that it handles pretty well. The draw rate, the sprint recovery time. What I mean by that is when you're sprinting and you stop sprinting, the time that it takes for your character to bring up his gun. That's what I mean. The reload speed, all the handling characteristics are all very, very fast. So this is definitely meant to be a very, very heavy rushing submachine gun. Like if you're putting on full speed gear, you want to get up in people's face, you want to lotto some douches, this is the gun for you. This is definitely the gun for you. I mean, honestly, you really need to go for headshots with this gun. Given with the damage of 33, I mean, given it only has a damage rating of MP5, I'm not trying to say the MP5 is weak, but compared to the other submachines that had like 35, 36, maybe 37 damage ratings, this gun, you need to depend on its headshotting capabilities. I mean, me as not so much of an advocate of headshotting, you kind of need to go for lottos with this gun. There's no getting around it. And if you try to, play with the gun in any other way, then you're going to run into lots of trouble with it, and it's going to be very frustrating to use. And I mean, by itself, it's a very frustrating gun to use already. Its recoil is way too difficult to handle for average players to use, and it's just not an optimal gun. Sure, it's got its stats, its portability and its rate of fire stat mimic that of the T2, but definitely doesn't behave anything like a T2. It's just, recoil is way off the charts. It almost reminds me of, it behaves like a dual Scorpions in a sense, and I mean, really the only thing that you can depend on reliably is the headshots, and if you're going to rely on lottos, you're relying on luck, and luck isn't something you need to rely on unless you get perfect headshots all the time. And that's a different story. But if you're not one of those people, then the TEC-9, you really need to aim for the head. Just go for the head and just pull the trigger and just hold down the left click. Just hope for a lotto. That's really the only way you can go about using this gun for average users. Obviously, if you're more skilled than that, or if you're more skilled than the average player, then for you, what I recommend is try to aim at the lower body. Aim at the lower body and let the recoil of the gun kick itself up so that you get a headshot in like I'd say the 6th, 7th, 8th bullet, somewhere around that. That's the ideal way you want to use a TEC-9 in my opinion. Either that or up in your face gun just spraying people down works as well. But even then, you might find yourself getting really angry with this gun, because its bullet accuracy within its own hipfire spread is pretty batshit terrible. I'm not gonna lie. So, do I recommend this gun? Absolutely not. It's definitely a novelty submachine gun. It's definitely a good gun to kind of mix things up a little bit. But if you're looking to try hard a lot, no, just stay away from this thing. It's not good at all. But it definitely is an interesting submachine gun, and I'm definitely glad that Nexon has taken the liberty to include a gun like this into the arsenal. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. This has been my review on the TEC-9 submachine gun. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you guys later. ゆっくりしてってね。